All right, all right, all right. Here we go. Here we go. Good evening, opening day eve of the New York Mets at Citi Field tomorrow, 3:10 p.m. ball game. Yours truly will be there or be square. You know what I mean. It is April the 3rd in the year of my Lord 2025. Harold, I am interstatal. Thanks for joining us, Harold. I appreciate you as always. So it's the eve of opening day at home for the New York Mets. We come back to Citi Field 3-3. We went 1-3 in Houston and 2-3 in Florida. It could have easily been 2-3 in Houston and 3-3 in Florida. But who am I to digress? Hey, what's going on, Nick? Oh, that's fantastic. Maybe I'll see your parents at the ballpark. Nick's parents are going tomorrow. So we have a couple of housekeeping things to do. I want to give a shout out to the Okolona Astros T-ball team, especially to Aubrey and Lexi. Kill it this season, girls. Your dad's teaching you all the good sound fundamentals. I saw a little video. So Eric, your daughters Aubrey and Lexi, congrats. We also want to give congratulations to Linda Stein, her daughter Kelly, and her son-in-law on the healthy birth, thank God, of Linda's grandson Archer. I believe they're going to be calling him Archie for short, or as the nickname. Everything went well. So Linda Stein and family, God bless, Mazel Tov, and all the things that come with that. Enjoy. Ben Begun, what's going on, Ben? Thanks for joining me, Ben. Mark Brooks, my brother from another. And we are Duo Interstatal. We're up to 7, 2 minutes into our podcast. It's fantastic. I am jacked up. Believe it or not, thanks to my buddy Dave, I was able to stumble across a couple extra tickets through his kindness. We've never met. We're Facebook friends. We're cigar enthusiasts, and we've been trying to get together to meet. And he had a couple of tickets. So not only am I going to opening day with Danny, my son Michael from Bradenton, Florida is flying. He's landing at any minute if he's not here already. He's going to be going. And then Angie wants to go. So the Gagliano boys will be represented at Citi Field tomorrow. Tremendous, tremendous. We are so jacked. The McKessies, we're going to be joining their tailgate party. I'm going to be bringing the London broil, the chicken drumsticks. I'm picking up fresh bread, and of course the Guinness. So we'll be we're going to be getting to the ballpark roughly around 11:30. Gates open at 12:10. So hopefully we'll be one of the first cars in the lot and setting up the tailgate party. So we also have some housekeeping announcements to make, as you all know, via my post on Facebook. 2 days ago was the 4-year anniversary of Angie's Angles. And boy, what growth we have done. We went from broadcasting on Facebook Live from my kitchen table, my dining room table, to then I migrated to the spare bedroom. And then through the graciousness of Mike here at Smoke Therapy, my cigar lounge, my home away from home, Eric Schuster, Danica, hey. So he was gracious enough to give me the back room at Smoke Therapy, and I've been here ever since. I'm here unless I'm on the road, and then we do a road show. But as long as I'm local, We are broadcasting live every Thursday, 8:30 p.m. from Smoke Therapy, 215 Ronkonkoma Avenue, Ronkonkoma, New York. Be here or be square, if you know what I mean. Yes, Mark Brooks. It's a tremendous anniversary. I mean, shout out to my good friend, my brother. We share the same birthday, 1 year apart. Brett Milletta, for his guidance, his tutorials, his sometimes pain in the ass commentary to try to spur me on to being better, bigger, and bringing you quality podcasts in terms of presentation. We now broadcast off for StreamYard, and they distribute it to Facebook and to YouTube. I have got the YouTube channel, Angie's Angles. We revamped it. We took away the 4121. We kept the Angie's Angles. Please go and subscribe. Rich, what's going on, buddy? How you doing, Richie? Thanks. Eric, yes, I am going tomorrow. Eric, I'm very excited. I can't wait. So the Mets coming into Citi Field tomorrow, 3-3 in the young sophomoric season that we're in. And let's just jump right to the headline now, down bottom left of my screen. Alonso goes boom. Now Kevin Elliott is not a Pete Alonso fan. However, even he acknowledges, and he's picked up on this little tidbit that I did not notice. He's a legend in claiming that Pete is standing about a half foot closer to the plate, which is allowing him to foul off those sliders that seems to be his Achilles tendon. So instead of striking out, Pete is fouling them off. He's wasting those pitches, as they say in the game of baseball. And in doing so, he's able to sit on his pitch. And last night, thanks Casey Wayne, I was at Coop in Farmingdale for wing night. All you can eat wings all night long for $20. They had Joe Louis and the Groove playing blues. Oh my God, I was in heaven. Wings, blues, the Met game, the victory, the Alonso 3-run tying home run shot. All absolutely phenomenal. And let's replay Pete Alonso's game tying 3-run homer.
And Alonso drives one deep center field. Sanoja back, takes a look, and it's out of here! Pete Alonso ties the game with a 3-run homer. Dead central into the greenery.
All right, we're back. Now, I called this. I vetted it. I called it. I said Alonso's going to be locked in with Soto. The pressure's taken off of Pete. He no longer is the sole necessity to carry the team, although last year, in all fairness, that was Lindor and #Nimmo sucks that did it with the amazing pitching staff that we had. And speaking about pitching staffs, let me run you through some early season stats. The Mets team ERA currently is 2.49. Now, we've been anemic offensively, save a game or two. And that's why we're 3-3. But that ranks us for 13th best in all of Major League Baseball. And we all know there's 30 teams in Major League Baseball. The bullpen has a collective 1.64 ERA, which is second best in all of MLB. So kudos to David Stearns. Kudos to Steve Cohen for putting together formidable pitching staff. I, for one, really didn't believe in it, and it's way early, so let's not get carried away. But McGill, Peterson, even Senga, who gave up the 4 runs, coming off the injured season he had last year. What's up, Kevin? Thanks for joining us, my friend. I am Tri-Interstatal. So I want to focus on Pete Alonso. This guy with the back and forth off season delay in signing a contract Clark, what's going on? I am quadruple interstatal. So with Alonso, in the offseason, not getting the contract that he thought he would get. And then finally signing the Met 2-year contract, which could be a 1-year contract. But I do believe, and I called this, I said this on Angie's Angles, 45 plus 125 RBIs for Pete Alonso, about a 260 batting average. Pete was unconscious last night. He went 3 for 4, 2 doubles, the home run. It was just absolutely a phenomenal performance by one Pete Alonso, and he came through in the clutch. It was a 9-pitch at bat. He fouled off those nasty sliders, and then they just grooved it. A la Devon Williams last year with the Brewers, where Pete clocked it to right field to tie that game up also in Milwaukee. So Pete Alonso is relaxed. He's dialed in. He's locked in, for lack of a better word. So we're expecting bigger and better things. Lindor is off to his pedestrian start. And let's talk about this lineup. Carlos Mendoza is winning despite himself. Not in spite of himself, but despite himself. And I've said this, I've argued this on Angie's Angles, and I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure why I could understand this. Kevin Elliott could understand this. My other friends that could understand this. Why do we have Lindor, Soto 1-2? Soto is not a number 2 hitter. He deserves to be number 3. He needs to be number 3. We got to find somebody for the 2-hole, and I've said this. Stick Acuna in the number 2 hole. The kid in his limited playing opportunities has proven that he could be a force to be reckoned with. Now, understand this. Acuna is going to see meatball pitches in the 2 spot, especially once Lindor gets his wheels going and gets on base. They don't want to see Soto up after Lindor and Acuna. So they're going to try to make Acuna hit the ball, and he's going to see a lot of fastballs in the number 2 position. Harold, thank you for bringing that up. Harold says, Clark, your Redbirds seem to be playing better this year. Yeah, Clark, is it still April Fool's Day with your Cardinals winning game after game after game? It's incredible. That's so funny. Yes, Mark, I appreciate that comment. Mark Brooks agrees that we should put Acuna at second. I think the Beatty experiment is over. You know, he's a quadruple A ball player. Sadly, I really thought we were going to find lightning in the bottle with Beatty. I do like his swing, but I don't know what his issue is. Now, if I'm Steve Cohen, David Stearns, I go hire a psychiatrist. I hypnotized Lindor to believe it's June 1st. I hypnotized Beatty that he's playing in the minor leagues. I mean, Jesus Christmas. Thank you, Richie. I agree with that. So why are astute fans like ourselves, right? I got you, Richie. Why are astute fans, diehard baseball fans, diehard blue and orange bleeding Met fans realizing that we got to stick Acuna in the number 2 spot? Not only do we put him in the number 2 spot, so say Lindor gets out, Acuna gets on base via walk or base hit, second base is almost given with the speed that kid has. Now you got Soto, Alonso, Vientos, who needs to get off the schneid. And let's talk about Vientos real quick. And James Krause and I were on the same page. When Vientos hit that grounder to third and it got bobbled, Vientos half jogged down the first base. And he slowed down the last quarter way of the base. If he had just get it up 1 second more, he's safe. And that could have certainly changed the outcome of that ball game. You know, Gary Cohen has already spoken about the sophomoric jinx for Vientos. I say, hogwash, Gary Cohen. Oh, my goodness, I am fired up. I don't think it's like Christmas for me. It's like Christmas Eve. I don't think I'm going to see any sleep tonight. I'm awaiting my son Michael's arrival here at Smoke Therapy. And speaking of the devil, pull up a chair, Mikey. Mike's in the house. This is fantastic. Come on in. Pull that. Mike's a big guy. Say hi, Mike.
How we doing, everyone?
All right, we got Michael.
We talking about how the Yankees have improved the bat into the next
era? Yeah, all right, Mike. We don't talk about the Skankies on Angie's Angles unless it's a negative comment. If you know what I mean.
So did we talk about it being cheating?
It's not cheating.
It's cheating.
Unfortunately, it's legal. It falls into the confines of the verbal the
it's
verbiage.
Not in the spirit.
So great point you're bringing up, Michael, right? So I've said, and the numerous other fans and friends of mine have said, Rob Manfred could finally make a positive contribution to Major League Baseball. He's got this clause that sometimes is unknown or forgotten. He has absolute power and authority.
Wait, don't you hate that he has ultimate power?
No, I don't hate that he has ultimate power. I hate that he's the commissioner making stupid rules. But the fact that he has ultimate power, exclusive power to do anything in the best interest of baseball, he should immediately, if not sooner, ban the torpedo bat.
But if we're talking about benefits for MLB, that's a whole new avenue of merch and items that they could sell, a whole new revenue streams. Imagine how much logo you could put on that giant torpedo. Actually, it's the same. It's still the same diameter. It's just like moved down a little, right?
So that's something that I'm trying to understand, right? So they took wood from the handle and transported it to the upper, a little bit above the label on the bat, which makes it thicker. So I want to get my own tape measure and make sure it's 2.61 circumference.
Are you worried about it being unsafe now that the handle is thinner? Do you think we're going to see more splinters and fractures?
We've got what are we 6 or 7 games into the season? We've yet to see that happen. So no, I'm not concerned, and I don't really care because Roger Clemens can't pick up the shard and throw it at the runner. Stupid ass Roger Clemens skanky. Anyway, where are we at? We're at the 8:47 mark. I'm so happy that Mikey got up here safe and sound. From Bradenton, he left just this afternoon, and here he is live and in person at Smoke Therapy, 215 Ronkonkoma Avenue, Ronkonkoma, New York. So we talked about Alonso being locked in. We talked about the Mets pitching staff. Tomorrow, Tyler McGill is pitching for us. It's not your star-studded number one rotation guy, but he's picked up from last year, and he's got a 1.64 ERA or thereabouts. So we're looking for good things tomorrow. Yeah, Clark, those bats are like fungal bats. Right. So
doesn't that bring more entertainment, and doesn't that bring more excitement to the game?
No, just like steroids, right? They don't belong in baseball. And speaking of steroids, the San Diego Padres should buy dinner for the Atlanta Braves because they knew there is no way you get rid of Jurickson Profar from your San Diego team because you had him on the cheap. He produced unless you knew he was on the juice. You know what I mean? So Jurickson Profar now has been banned for 80 games. And here's the kicker for you. Jurickson Profar says, for those that know me, and I quote, unquote, knows that it would never consciously, intentionally, or purposely do anything to belittle the game of baseball. I am blessed and honored to be a Major League Baseball player. However, Perro, I accept the penalties imposed on me. No. I had a situation where I was accused of some heinous doings that I was 1,000% innocent of. And I fought it to a T, and I won. I beat not only child support services, I beat the IRS. I beat them all. And you know why I beat them all? Because the truth shall set you free. So you can't tell me Jurickson and Profar on one side of the lips that you're talking at her that I would never do anything to ruin the game of baseball. However, I accept the penalty. Because you're guilty. And you can't tell me otherwise. And nothing's better. And Nick Troiano, we're getting to you. Nothing's better than seeing the Braves 0-7.
Also, the Athletics is in pretty handedly, or is it just the Braves?
I'm sorry.
Is it the Athletics also suffering heavily, or is it
no? So here's the deal with the Athletics. They're actually winning some games, but oh my God, they're playing for the next 3 years. 3 years. And this is the problem with Major League Baseball. This is a big issue. They're playing in a freaking college ballpark that holds 8,000 to 9,000 people.
What is the average attendance of this baseball game? It's probably gonna be pretty low.
So combined, I think it's about 28,000 people per game.
Combined, but how about if we take away the start and the playoffs? I'm talking like if the Mets weren't playing the Blue Jays as their opener, a Mets versus Blue Jays, like
it's going to be a sellout. It's
like
opening day.
Yeah, but if it was just like a random Tuesday in like the middle of like I don't know May.
Well, tomorrow's Friday.
That's whatever. Is it
for those keeping track at home? I know you are. Anyway, sure. So the Tuesday night game at 7:10 in April is going to get you, sure, 12,000 people at Citi Field. Not unless, though, if they're producing. As a matter of fact, Mike, good question, and I'm going to give you some answers here. The New York Mets have sold out on every season package available to be purchased. Complete sellout on their season ticket plans. So, and we've argued this on Angie's Angles a long time. You want to know who your true fans are at any given ballpark. You count your head count at first pitch and at the end of the game. And that is your fan base. Not these wannabes that show up in Los Angeles for the freaking Japanese team in the third or fourth inning and leave by the seventh just to show their freaking faces.
Hold on. As a human with the ability to drive, seventh inning, if the game is clear, I am skipping the traffic. I don't even need to do the stretch. I am in my car listening to the rest of the game.
And you just validated my commentary. You're not a true baseball fan.
I enjoy the sport.
You enjoy it. You're a casual
sure.
fan.
Sure.
All my family right here on Angie's Angles, we're die-hard, true and blue, bring back baseball like it ought to be fans.
But you have to admit, the pitch clock actually helped a lot.
Pitch clock sucks.
No one's spending 5 minutes
horrible
their cleats anymore.
We've got more Tommy John injuries in the history of the game than we ever did because you can't expect a human to throw a ball, whether he's got the spin rate or the speed, within 15 freaking ass seconds. It's a human impossibility.
I mean, like 30 pitchers do it a night, right? That's how
the entire Chicago White Sox rotation is out due to Tommy John.
Well, that's the Chicago White Sox. It's the White Sox. Maybe that's where you put all the pitchers that need Tommy John.
All right, Clark, it's usually Harold, but let's do it. And I'm going to do it, but I'm going to have to take it back if he uses his claws to ban the torpedo bat. But Rob Manfred hates baseball. Rob Manfred hates baseball. Rob Manfred hates baseball. Ad nauseum. Prove me wrong.
You approved the torpedo bat. We have more home runs now.
For God's sakes. Sure, bring back the juice ball. Allow steroids. What else are we going to do to bastardize the game of baseball?
Honestly, and to avoid bastardizing it, we should go back to sticks, just straight up sticks and rocks.
Before Ricky Henderson tragically passed away, he was training to make a comeback because the bases are larger and the pitcher only has 2 disengagements from the mound to pick him off, for God's sakes. You'll never see another Kirk Gibson at bat ever against Dennis Eckersley. That at bat lasted up to 3 minutes.
Yeah, but no one was paying attention.
I was on the seat of my pants watching that game, for God's sakes.
Yeah, but like we got like Vine and Instagram and stuff now, so it's like, you know, like 20 second at bats. Let's go.
We are at the 8:56 mark, and Mike is trying to get me riled up. I don't need any help getting riled up, as it's evidenced by my podcast this evening. Today is Christmas Eve. We're going to be attending the tailgate. We got phenomenal seats. I got 3 out of my 4 sons attending the game with me. Michael, back in the day, he and I used to go to the opening days. We went to some ball games. As a matter of fact, a little fun fact about Michael, maybe he was 5'6". He was only 4'2" back then at 5 and 6. FYI, he's 6'7", just for the record. I'm holding Michael. Here comes a foul ball in my area. I'm with my mom and dad, Michael and me. I hand off Michael to my father. Handoff is probably nice. I tossed Michael to my father. I jumped over seats and railings 4 sections over, and I got the foul ball by Todd Hundley back in the day. One of the greatest accomplishments of attending a ball game. That and seeing Willie Mays at City Field when I was working there for my good friend John Erickson as the expediter in the Diamond Club. Mr. Mays, who tragically passed recently, not tragically, he lived a very good life, but sadly, we'll say sadly, passed. I ran into him in the catwalk where all the broadcast booths are, and I see this behemoth of a man. Now, he wasn't really big. He was 5'10", 5'11". And if anybody that knew my dad's hands were ginormous, larger than any hand I've ever seen until I met Mr. Willie Mays. And Mr. Willie Mays' hands would dwarf my father's hands. This guy had the biggest hands I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I've got pretty big hands. They're thin. My fingers are thin, but I got a pretty big outstretch of hand. It was like throwing a tic-tac to a whale. I mean, seriously, my hand just got swallowed up in his, and it was unbelievable. Anyway, if you don't mind removing your hat for me, please, thank you. We are at the prayer circle part of Angie's Angles, and here we go. Harold, we're praying for your wife and your co-worker and your friend Ed. Scott Tobias, we're praying for your wife and your mom. Linda Stein, we're praying for yourself that your hand gets better, your dad. And we gave her the shout out. Everything went well with Kelly's pregnancy. Little baby Archer was born. Everybody's well and healthy. Thank God. Mark Brooks, my brother from another. We are praying for you guys as you rebuild your home. Kevin Elliott, we're praying for your health challenges and the battles that you're facing. Krause family, we're praying for Aubrey as her cancer remains in remission. And Darcy, if your foot's better and you're out and about, we have to set up a wing night. Clark, we're praying for your brother-in-law, Brad. Deb and Lee down in Maryland, we're praying for you guys. Marianne Bello out in Las Vegas, we're praying for your mom. Larry Levy, continued prayers for Frida, your wife, as her cancer is also in remission. Mr. McGowan, sir, let me know the day, the time, and we're sneaking in some Jameson for you, my friend. Big John, Smoke Therapy Lounge. We're praying for Cousin Richie, Phil's Nona, your friend John, and your brother Angelo's friend Dave. Tom, we're praying for Paul and Janet, and we're adding your good friend Mary's sister Carol, who sadly passed away today. Joe, we're praying for Wayne and his ALS. John, we're praying for John Kane. Mike Wiener, Smoke Therapy owner and operator, we're praying for your son Matt as he recovers from his concussion and your dad's stumble. Randall and Missy, we're praying that your adoption case goes well. Tom, out here in Smoke Therapy, we're praying every day for your attitude, that it improves. And we're praying for Mike's brother. So that's our prayer circle. We're at the 9:01 mark. I appreciate each and every one of you. I thank you for your 4 years of Angie's Angles. I when I started it on April 1st, 2021, I really didn't think I'd be here on April 3rd from the back room of Smoke Therapy, bringing you my passion. Good night. God bless. I love you.